Well, what's your name?
Lisa.
Lisa, Lisa.
Correct.
Great. If you can't come up with a claim, we've got a little claim generator.
I think I got one.
Okay. What were you thinking about?
I was thinking that where you live affects who you are.
Okay. Where you live affects.
Who you become, like.
Yeah. Affects who you become. Great. Okay. What is the thing that convinced you, or how confident are you that it's true? On a scale of 1 to 100. 100 being like, could be wrong. 1, it's not real.
I think it's a factor in it. So I think it's a big factor. So pretty real.
On a scale of 1 to 100, what would you say?
1 to 100?
Yeah. Like
80, maybe 80%.
80%. Great. Perfect.
Yeah.
No.
Throwing a number.
No wrong answer. And feel free, like, if you're like, oh, you know what? It's actually 90%.
Yeah,
or,
change it.
I'm going down to 70 right now. Fine. It's how you feel about it.
Right.
So where you're born affects who you become. 80%. What was like the biggest reason that supports that idea? What convinced you that it's true?
So I was born and raised in Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm. I hear a little bit of an accent.
Came here for like vacations.
Nice.
And when my youngest child went off to college, I took a job down here, and I've been here for 3 years, living down here.
Welcome.
And thank you. I love it. It's a great place.
Oh, it's better than up there.
Yeah.
Climate-wise, at least.
A lot of ways. I'll leave it at that. But, and I do travel back and forth. Like my family's up there, so holidays and things. So I'm kind of between the two, but this is now home. And the reason why I think that's true is being able to go between the two, going back and forth between the two. And I have 5 children, seeing like the stress level that they're not able to get rid of in an everyday situation. You know what I mean? Like they just are, their life is so wound and so like work focused. And so I think the balance down here, you work hard, you play hard, you wake up, you walk for an acai.
Yeah.
So
I'm sort of hearing you say that your personal experience and seeing your children and how they're living,
right.
And from where they grew up, and you're seeing maybe children in this community.
Yes, I'm a teacher down here, so I can.
So
I kind of have the comparison to look at.
So so your personal experience, seeing children growing up in different locations.
Exactly.
Has given you this thing. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Is there a way to find out if could we test it?
Could we test it?
Yeah, I was like trying to think of an easier way to say it, but
I know.
I was like,
well, I feel like I'm kind of a test person of it. I'm kind of like, proof of, I go back up north and you get into the fast pace. I mean, it could be, but then the difference couldn't, even within Florida, like my son's in school in Miami, and it's a lot faster paced, you know what I mean? So
like cities versus.
But I do feel like with the warm client and everything, he's in med school, and I do feel
nice.
He's able to, he balances life a little easier than, he's doing a good job at it, and he's in Miami, so you're
which
saying. Which is more hectic. So is it the hectic or is it the climate? I don't know. What would it be?
Yeah, and so maybe just like, and you were saying like your location. Location. So it's location specific. And so maybe if you all moved to a Caribbean island, you'd become a different person maybe.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your location makes you into a new person. Great. Environment effects.
And I mean, it could go the same way, cold climates too, like Alaska and.
Yeah. Cool.
To me, it's more like the slower pace, So even the question, that changes the question a little, doesn't it?
A little.
Yeah.
Or a little bit of
I talk a lot. I'm a teacher. Sorry.
Well, and I was trying to think of, if Mo had, like, she's like, it doesn't matter really where you live. You are who you are. Like, and she's seen people from all over the place, and it's like, it's just individuals. and she's convinced because she sees it in people and all that. Like, it's her reasoning. Is like she justified in her reasoning, and
Mm-hmm.
she's at 80%, let's say. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and she used the same reason, but she's saying like
That
it's
it's
not
not.
not environment.
That
No,
it's not environment.
no,
Yeah.
it's something else.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure you wouldn't disagree. What am I trying to get at?
I know what you're
Yeah,
kind of saying though,
trying to
that
get at,
somebody
yeah.
else can also turn it the other way, right?
Right,
Yeah, that it's
right.
not.
How do we know for sure that it's like location and
Yeah.
not just like some personality
I mean,
or something?
it's kind of like those old movies. Remember when they take the identical twins
Oh yeah, and
and they put
separate
them
them
in,
and then
and then they come
oh
back? Those were cool. Those were cool movies. And
oh,
you're like, and then they switch, and then
that sounds like a test
yeah,
almost.
almost right.
A
Yeah.
way to tell.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's ethical
Right. Oh, I know
if we
exactly.
took all these twins
And separated them. No, that would not be
and
a
put
good
them in
thing. No,
different
that's a whole other
environments.
issue.
Did you,
Don't separate
we
twins.
we actually sort of we did that. Oh, it's okay.
Oh, no worries.
No problem. That's very nice of you to
I
be
thought you were clapping
concerned.
for me. You know,
That's,
no.
good point. Good point.
Right, exactly.
I said such a great question. So great. So this method, how reliable do you feel this personal experience method
To
is?
test it, you mean? Would it be?
Just like
Oh, my personal experience.
for like personal experience in general, using that as a way to construct beliefs, like how reliable is that method? What do you think? Is that
I
right?
don't know.
If we can come to different conclusions using the same process,
Right.
how good is that process?
I don't know. You have to have. I knew one of my students would catch me.
Uh,
Gotta take chances, right? Why not?
don't worry, it's not. No worries.
Oh, nice, nice girl.
80%.
Is it 80% reliable
Yes.
if we
You are using personal experience
personal experience?
as our reason.
No, I think you have to have other ways to measure it, right? To make it.
Okay.
I mean, but who's to say what the measurement is?
Right.
You know. But
It-
like, look at her smiling and working. She's working the farmers market and she's
Yeah.
smiling. Like,
And it's
will you work?
location
the climate,
specific.
yeah.
Yeah. So,
But yeah,
is there another
way to
thing
test
that's
it.
holding, or like let's say you lose the personal experience, like you don't have the experience that you had, like how much would your confidence go down, let's say, from the 80, if like personal experience was thrown out, how much would it lower?
Yeah, but you always have personal experience, don't you?
Yeah.
Right? Like, because if I was teaching, I'd be looking at my kids and like, I might not have the other students to compare them to, but
Sure.
or my own children to compare them to.
Yeah, yeah.
But there's still that experience.
You're
So,
gonna have experience, yes.
yeah.
But if like, well,
Are you trying to change my opinion? Is that what you're trying to do?
no, or well, like how big of a chunk of the 80% is personal experience?
Oh, okay.
Like, is there? And you're saying there's other things. Cool. How much of the 80 is personal experience built up of that confidence?
Well, I think 80 wasn't really high.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, I probably could have went higher and then bumped it down to 80.
Sure.
So maybe 5%?
5%. That doesn't sound like a lot.
No,
Okay.
I don't know.
So
Because
maybe
I think we could, like, you get random people. I think you could test it out and prove.
sure.
I think it's an easily way
Well,
to.
it's such a small percent. I'm wondering what's the bigger reason then. You know what I mean? Like, what's the other parts of it that are building it up? What's
Yeah.
the more important reason? Let's say that. Or
Mm-hmm.
can you think of what would,
Besides personal experience.
besides
Would-
personal experience, since it's such a small percent?
Observations.
Okay.
I guess like
Observations.
life,
Observations.
just like
Other people's reporting. Is that what you mean? Like observations? Like.
just like right now, like we're observing the people around us, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you went to different places, you could do a study by like sitting in a farmer's market here, or sitting in a town somewhere else, you know, like,
Yeah.
and it would affect, I mean, it would become then their reality, right? I guess like how it affects them
Uh-huh.
where they're living.
Sure. Yes. Okay. So other people's observations, or observations in general, just is
Observations in general, I think. Like
yeah.
we could observe. I'm just thinking how you could test that out. Um,
Yeah, and well, and testing is just for, like, can we falsify it?
right.
Like, is there a
Yeah.
way to see if it's not true?
Right.
And I liked your scientific, you know, uh,
Like even if we set up like, if we went different places around the country and we set up cornhole,
yeah,
and you like observe the people, like
on,
like you know,
on different places and
or
how they play it.
even like this, if you guys set up in different states, how many people would go out, take that chance to talk to you?
Sure, sure.
Like, does that change? Like, does
Whoa,
that?
this guy has some data on that.
Yeah.
So yeah, personal experience, observation. Uh, I know this is, I don't know if we can't throw it all out. I'm not sure. Criteria. Well, what could raise your confidence in this thing? Like, you're at 80 or 90%.
That it's true. That it's.
Yeah. What, and like, if we did, yeah, I don't know. What could raise your confidence?
I don't know. It's kind of a tricky thing because like I would love for my children to move down here because I think it is a better place to like raise a family.
Right.
My kids did fine. They're but I don't know why I'm even throwing that in there. I don't even know
It's
why I
okay.
threw that in. But I was thinking about you trying to get to that 100%. For
Or
me, it's like a belief. I just have witnessed it, and it's what I think.
okay.
And I think we could pretty much prove, and you can create your own happiness where you are. It kind of depends. Yeah, it depends. I don't know.
A mindset sort of thing.
But now I'm going to say on the opposite. Like some people thrive better in different situations, right?
Right.
So I don't know if I don't think I could get to the 100%.
Yeah.
I don't
No.
think I could
No.
because I do think some people may choose.
Okay.
I think 80 might be where I'm at.
Cool.
I don't know.
Well, can you think of something that would lower your confidence?
What would that? Well, of course, if you like witness, if you observe different things.
Okay. So seeing
Um,
people who are living in locations
Not norms, right? Into the
and that are becoming, like, not
what you typically expect them in that
in that
in that
location.
location to be like.
Okay.
Yeah. Then
Okay.
then it might be like you'd be like, what's going on in your life or what, right?
Okay. And so you would still think that your claim.
That there might be something that's pulling them away from.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
So
I'm pretty confident in it. I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have made the move either. Right?
Cool. Huh. Well, this was fun. I'm sort of stuck, and I don't know if I have any more questions. So,
So 80% is good.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and you can say whatever percent
Yeah,
you want.
are
That's
right.
cool.
Yeah, I think that's where I'd be
I mean,
at though.
yeah. The only ones that would be weird if you said like 1%,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
and or 100 is like a hard thing
A
maybe
hard
to be
number.
like, can you be 100% in anything?
Yeah.
I don't know, but cool. I don't know. Do you have any other questions for me, or
What do you think?
what do I think? I think location has an effect. I don't know. I mean, who you become. It's like, it's like nature versus nurture stuff.
Right, yeah.
Like your environment feeds into you, but then there's something internal for sure. Like there's personalities that people seem to develop, like,
No matter
like,
where they are. Yeah.
like your parents try to influence you, but the kids seem to have their own sort of thing that they have from somewhere.
Right.
Like they just generate, like my brother is very different from me.
Right.
And
Mine is my siblings as well. Yeah.
So, and like we
true.
grew up in the same sort of location, environment.
Which that's a whole other interesting topic,
So
isn't it?
I'm not
Yeah.
sure exactly what percent of location builds you to become who you are.
Have
But
you only lived here?
I grew up in Pennsylvania,
Oh,
and I've been down
okay.
here for about half my life there, half my
Yeah.
life here. So, Yeah.
Patton, have you heard of Patton, Pennsylvania?
Patton?
Yeah,
No.
nobody has. No,
No, tiny town in the middle of
tiny
nowhere.
town. My daughter's boyfriend's family. Yeah, but no one knows it ever.
Cool. No,
No,
is it where?
I don't even know
Oh,
because
we'll have to look it up.
she'd tell you like it's next to another big place that kind of
Patton, PA. I'll look it up, see where it is.
Mm.
Well, cool. Well, this was fun.
Yeah, it
Hopefully
was
you
fun.
had
Nice
a
meeting you.
good time.
Yeah, it was good.
Maybe didn't, get to my things. I'm like, I get stuck on these questions, like where
Yeah.
I'm like how to get some places, but
I know.
yeah, it was
It's a
fun.
tricky one,
Thanks
but
for
yeah.
coming and talking to me for a minute.
Oh,
And
yeah. No
I-
worries. It was a pleasure. My pleasure.
this guy always has the right
Nice to
questions.
meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Lisa.
Nice to meet you.
Lisa.
Yes.
Thanks so much for stopping.
You're welcome.
I'll take that microphone.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah.
I'll be
I
walking
haven't
home. What
lost
do I
one
have?
yet. I haven't lost one yet. One of these
Oh, you guys
days,
hit the
so
bathroom up.
Thanks again.
You're welcome.
Enjoy the rest of the day.
You too.
I thought I did. I was like on that track. I was close with the personal experience percent. Like
Yeah.
I was on it, and she said 5%. I was like
5%.
so 75% for something else.
Yeah.
But then
what's
observation was
the
felt-
thing that holds the biggest chunk? Yeah.
right, and she said observation. I don't know if we ever got a big chunk.
Yeah. Yeah.
I still think I feel like her personal experience is her main reason,
Yeah.
but she was like unwilling to.
And I like how you were exploring what would be an observation that would show this was not true.
Right.
Yeah.
And we didn't quite get, but yeah, I mean, and I liked her test. I liked the test. See you, Robin and Brandon.
Take care.
Feel free to come by and do it sometime. Maybe just Brandon. But yeah, I was like, oh, we're in a good spot. Like getting a thing that's like the thing that's holding it up, and then like no, that's not the thing that's holding it up. So then what else is it?
Right.
And I don't think I didn't feel like we got anything. We're getting stuck observations. She was like, and I don't know, observations are like kind of like scientific method testing things maybe.
So do you think if she did not have the personal experience, she'd be at 75? Is that kind of what you think she was saying?
Yeah, I think that's what she was saying. Yes, that's because like she was like, so if I didn't have personal experience, how much would I lose? And I was like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
How much of the chunk would you lose? 5%. I'm like, well, that's not very much.
Yeah. And the exact numbers are kind of arbitrary, but
Right,
it's kind of
but-
a fun way to measure
Yeah,
it.
and like, well, and I was expecting her to go like, I don't know, 10%, 20%, something.
Yeah.
A big chunk of 80.
Yeah.
And you can have other things. Well, and I agree a little bit about like you can't not have personal experience. Like,
Right.
right? Everybody has it. It's like sure, but is
it 80% reliable? Or I guess
Right.
she's saying it's 5% of her reasoning, then it only has to be 5% reliable. So what's
Yeah.
what's taking up the rest of it?
Yeah, and it was fun, and she was like, those are her students apparently, so she was like a little bit,
Uh-huh.
who knows, feeling weird about it, but
Performance aspect.
yeah, being on stage or something.
Yeah.
And her kid, the one kid, was like nervous for her as she
Uh-huh.
walked by. I was
Yeah.
like, oh no, don't worry. This
I like
is all
what you said. You got to take chances sometimes.
exactly. So I was, yeah, I feel like we made progress. It was good. I feel like we got somewhere. I just hit a roadblock there in the middle.
I thought that was good.
But yeah, it was fun, and I feel like she, like, had a good idea, and I feel like there's like the nature versus nurture thing. She's like saying the nature and the environment, or nurture. That's nurture. Yeah. Anyway, is like a big part of what, or like, and I almost feel like she might have meant that like where you live creates like a better mental space for you. Like
Can
you
affect.
you can flourish better, depending on what environment you're in. And I don't know if anyone would necessarily disagree with that. And she kept going back to her kids and being like in different, kid in Miami's doing great. Kids up in Massachusetts are like, feeling stressed out and like not happy. And
One avenue might be, how much does it affect it? How much does
Right.
the being in a
That's
different environment affect your mind state or your
yeah.
ability to flourish.
Yeah, how much does it push? Because and she's saying like location affects who you become. 80% confident. Maybe she's meaning 80%, and then 20% is just personality and stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, we were. Yeah, maybe I should have flushed out that first idea a little bit better. But yeah, it was good.
Cool.
Yeah, I thought that one went pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And she seemed to enjoy it, so.
and she's a local teacher, so I
Right.
was like,
I thought you might use that as a rapport building
I
connection.
thought about it, and
Yeah.
then I was like, I don't know, might be.
Like, how much do you want other people to know that you're a local teacher?
Yeah.
I
Or
can,
like,
I see that.
well, and who knows, we can get off on tangents like, with teachers.
Right. That's true. Yeah. There's a
But
risk of of derailing.
yeah, or like what she was saying, like, her personal experience with kids in different places, and she sees this pattern and, yeah, her observations.
Hmm.
So it was cool.
How much does you being a teacher influence your position on this?
Mm, that's a good question.
If you weren't a teacher, would you still feel the same way?
Yeah,
That might be a bigger chunk.
yeah,
Of course, it's still personal experience, but
yeah. And if it's
it's a
like,
specific kind of.
yeah, like if you were versus like, let's say, I don't know, a railroad mechanic,
Yeah.
somebody who doesn't interact with lots of people on a
Yeah.
day-to-day basis,
Yeah.
or young kids, let's say.
Yeah.
Or could you have um, let's say, a job where you interact with more people, you know,
Yeah.
and like international
Right.
sort of reach versus like, just in the United States, East Coast. But
Cool.
it was good. It was fun.
We have time for maybe one more?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm not in a big rush or anything.
Cool.